Welcome to 365. This will be workout 49. Yes. Listen, let me be your motivational speaker today. Let me see if I can motivate one person. Yeah. And how would that be? You know me, this is 365. This is what I call this stuff that I do. And this is day 49. I'm working my way. And this is what I call crunches to punches, right? Let me motivate you, if I can, if you don't mind. And the best way to motivate somebody is to literally be a part of what it is you're asking them to do. So I'm not going to ask you to do something that I myself are not or is not doing, okay? So therefore, it's time to sweat. Let's go, starting with crunches. Come on. Follow me. Follow me. All right. Go. Okay, let's not play with that. So, fam, crunches to punches. These are called crunches because you notice I'm not going all the way down. I'm just going right there, right where it tightens the hardest, right there. Yeah, right in there. All right? So how do you breathe with that? You don't want to fall out of sync with your breathing. So when I go down, I press the air out. Come up. Always take a deep breath when I come up. That's the most relaxed spot. So if nobody told you about these, how to breathe with them, of course they tell you to do them. But if they haven't explained to you to breathe with them, it don't matter how many you're doing, you just want to breathe with them. Because now you're breathing. It's still giving you that good oxygen that you need. You're not, and along with your movement, everything's in sync here. You notice? Even if I speed up. I'm breathing in sync with my movement. So, why? Because your heart beats in a rhythmic manner. You know? Your heart beats in a rhythmic manner. So anytime that heart rate changes, you have to, if it's working harder, you have to get more oxygen in your body. So then it can continue to pump the blood through your system that is needed and oxygen. Your lungs do the oxygen thing, right? And your heart does the blood movement through your body. But you want everything to be in sync though. Your body works, even your breathing pattern. It's a certain breathing pattern that you have normally. It's all like rhythmic. Your body works off a rhythmic pattern. And if you try to work out without having that rhythmic in sync, you can literally pass out. Because your body's telling you, hey, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong and I can't keep up with this. So you have to be in sync with it all. You know, you have to understand, read your body, understand what your body literally needs when you're trying to perform or you bring up your performance. So it's different from just walking every day. You know, even walking, there's a rhythmic way that your body literally responds to you walking. And if you're doing stuff like this is just a little step up from walking. Now what I'm doing, exerting myself, and I'm exploding with punches, right? These explosive movements. So even with this, I'm breathing a certain way. And I'll try, and when I punch, I want to push the air out. You know, for some reason when you do that, you find yourself hitting even more and harder, actually. So think about it. Try it out. Don't just take my word for anything. I want you to try anything that you hear me say. Test it out, and then see how it works for you. Think about what it is I'm suggesting as well. If I'm saying you breathe with this stuff, think about your breathing when you're doing it. All right? If you find yourself breathing off rhythmic, then you try to find that, get back on your rhythmic breathing. Your body needs that. You ever heard of hyperventilating? You can hyperventilate even sitting still sometimes if you're just breathing wrong. Your heart rate is up and your breathing doesn't match. You know? That can cause actually you to get a little dizzy in the head. So when I punch, I'm trying to think about shooting the air out too. So when you hear me say cha-cha, that's me pushing air out. You see what I'm saying? Try it. Try it. Now, with this, I'm not doing the cha-cha breathing. Well, I kind of am, but it's not like the explosive thing. So it's like out, out, in, out, out. See, I would have to really break that down. I would have to break that one down because there's different ways of doing it. There's different ways of breathing with that movement. But let's just talk about in-sync breathing with your movement. All right? Now, my movement is down, right? It's not all that moving around. After hitting the bag and then coming straight over here to crunches, I have to find my sync. It's like double dutch. I gotta find the good spot to jump in and start it. And breathing properly helps you recover too, faster. So we need to talk about breathing. You need to talk about breathing when you're working out. Because if you're breathing off sync, you're not doing yourself justice. You know, that's all I'm saying. You got to recognize it for what it is and then try to correct it. If you're not literally doing it, and you can feel it. If you pay attention to your body, you can literally feel it. You know, you can feel when you're not breathing right. Sometimes you get tired faster. You're like, I don't know why. And your muscles feel like it's not getting enough energy or something. It's probably not getting the right amount of oxygen in your body. You know? Compared to your movement. So, breathing is important to every workout. You don't hear too many guys talking about the breathing, do you? But they do talk about the mechanics of the movement of your working out. They don't talk about your breathing, though. And you sometimes might wonder, how come I ain't getting this? Because sometimes you got to be taught some things that you do and don't recognize that you're literally doing. You know? So it'll be great for you to listen to this old man on the breathing thing. When I'm punching, it's all about I'm pushing the air out. You can hear guys when they box in the pros, even amateurs sometimes will get it. They make noise. Some bark. They do that. Why? You ever wonder why they do that? Because really, they're breathing on their explosiveness. Some guys make different sounds. You know? Some guys are quiet. Like a choo-choo sound. See? Yeah, I'm going in the punch. Right? Right? So, let's talk about breathing. Very important. If you're going to train, learn how to breathe. Runners got to do it. Most sports, you got to control your breathing. Hold on. You got to control your breathing in most of these sports. That was 2 on the bag, right? That's why you'll see me take some deep breaths over here. When you're in the corner of a fight, your coach will tell you to take some deep breaths. Not fast. Take as much in your lungs, all in one, and push as much out, all in one. That's what these crunches are like. Kind of like that, you know? So, this round 3 for y'all, right? So, breathing is the key to a lot of consistent acting sports. If you got to be consistent, like running, you constant, you consistent. Even sprinting, you got to do it. It's consistent running, consistent movement. Now, if you're training like this is called cardio. This is a consistent movement. So the way that I'm breathing on these, see, I would have to really break this part down because there's many different ways to breathe with this. Now I could take choppy ones, like 2 out and 2 in. Or I can take 1. So I'm shooting out 1 and breathing in 2, right? Look. Actually, I'm breathing in 3 and shooting out 1. Check it out. Right? So, let's say I want to go just chop on every one. So you don't want to do that one too much, because that'll get you a pass out. But 2 in and 2 out is my favorite. Out, 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 in. And the ones coming in, I try to make them deep. Now, my movement now changed for the 30 seconds. 2 out, 2 in, but quicker. All right, so that particular breathing was like, I was going. So I'm breathing in right there. I'm pushing out. In. So I'm training myself, or to, when I pick up the pace, I want to breathe according to the pace that I picked up. And I want to try to maintain that. So to maintain it, I have to make sure that my breathing is matching the output of my movement, which the output of my movement controls my heart rate. So now my heart rate is going faster, and because of my movement, and I have to feed it the right amount of oxygen, so I have to breathe right. So I'm doing the with the movement. So by doing that, it helps me sustain the pace. Just like running. If you start running faster, you got to breathe differently. You can't keep the same breathe pattern if you're going like. And if you start running faster and you still going, then it's off sync. Now what's going to happen is your body's struggling to get the oxygen in to keep up, to help you keep up your pace. Now your heart is like, hey, what's going on? Your movement and your breathing is off. Now it's throwing the heart rhythm off. So you don't want to have that confusion tobacco going on in your body. So you got to practice with little stuff first, and then build up to the greater things where you can feel yourself controlling your breathing as you work out, no matter what workout you're doing. So it makes sense to me. It's been working for me. So therefore, I'm going to pass it on to you, and hopefully you'll get it too. Thanks for dropping by. This is 365. This was all about breathing. This was workout 49. It was all about breathing today. So I'm going to keep it going, talking about your breathing. A lot of people don't get that. And I don't think enough trainers talk about that. The breathing along with the working out, the movement of your body and your heart rate rising. So yeah, and it's always good every day to raise your heart rate. You want your heart rate to beat faster. That's a muscle. It needs to be exercised, not just in a shock like somebody startle you. Oh, your heart rate, and your heart is going like, oh, I'm scared. Oh my goodness, it's pumping blood because it thinks you're going to be attacked. You know what I'm saying? And then adrenaline and everything start kicking in. So you want to control that. Sometimes for people who are way out of shape and you scare them like that, and their heart all of a sudden start fluttering and just going off, sometimes can cause them to have, cardiac arrest, or, things can happen. The heart is just get overwhelmed, and then next thing you know it, they have a major issue. So that's why it's always good to exercise your heart every day. If you dance, good. If you walk, good. If you go up and down steps, good. If you just stand in place like this, good. It's still raising your heart rate. Do it daily. You don't have to do it for a long period of time. You ain't got to do it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Just do it for 3. How you like that one? 3. All right. Do it for 3 minutes or more. That's it. That ain't much to do for you. This is to get your heart used to every day. Get it to pump a little faster. You don't have to get it going like crazy, Just bring it up a little bit, because now that's a major muscle that's pushing out blood all through the body. It has to be able to do that. Then when we get older, a lot of people say, "Oh man, I'm old. You should relax. Shouldn't have to work so hard anymore." And that could be causing a lot of people's demise. Is because you think that just because you're old that you don't need to work out anymore. When you get old, you need to work out consistently still, because your heart still needs that. When you're young, it's easy. When you get older, it's a little harder. But guess what? It still needs to, the heart rate has to come up. So you want to be able to bring that heart rate up each day. You don't have to do it for long periods of time. but you have to do it, or you should do it. For those who choose not to do it, God bless you. Wish you a long life. But if you're one who know, if you know, and you do it and you make it a lifestyle. That's it. Hey, thanks for dropping by to 365. This is Workout 49. Put me on notification. So anytime I go live, you will know when I'm live. You can either support me or participate with me. That's how I get down. All right, y'all. I'm out. I got to go to the next platform.